evening. The time is 6 p.m.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, that's the my All-Star note telling me what time it is. It's 6 p.m. and we're here. We made it. I have sent out this link everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Where else did I send it? I sent it on Discord to a bunch of people. So let's see who we get to join tonight. Pam is here. How you doing, Pam? Good to see you again. Pam, you can join the live feed right now. I sent the link out. Here's the link for anybody else that might want to join. Hey, Pam, can you hear me all right? That's a good question to ask. But here's the link right here. You can join if you'd like. It's in the chat. Go right ahead and click on that link, and I will add you to the live stream because this is for everybody, not just me. How was your day today? I had an amazing lunch. More food than anybody should be allowed to eat in one sitting. My local Elks Club has a buffet every Wednesday. Today, the main course was half a chicken, but that's not what I went for. What I went for was the lobster macaroni and cheese. Holy mackerel, was that delicious. So, yeah, that was the ham lunch. It was me. None of my ham buddies showed up today. However, my buddy Mario, who was a good friend of mine, from New Jersey, who lives down here in Palm Coast now as well. We got together and we had lunch together. He just got back from Italy and told me a bunch of cool stuff about Italy. And it was really cool. And he showed me a bunch of pictures. He went to a lot of places in Italy. Wasn't an easy trip. Had a couple of issues along the way, but got there eventually and enjoyed my homeland. Although this is my homeland. My grandparents came from Italy in 1909, and they came here on the ship the Martha Washington, and that's how they came into New York Harbor and went through Ellis Island, the whole 9 yards. So it was very, very interesting to see that. And I'm sure he says I really need to go to Italy at some point, and I may go. I may actually go sometime. But in the meantime, if you would like to actually speak to me with your voice. Thanks, Dale. Thanks for coming, Dale. Dale came to the game. He said, better late than never. We only started a short 2 minutes ago, so you didn't miss anything yet. Just me talking about my former union delegate, Mario, who we went to lunch together today at the Elks. If you're ever in the Palm Coast area on a Wednesday, come on out to the Elks Club in Palm Coast and mention my name or my call sign and let them know you're there. And I'm there every Wednesday. And you get a great buffet for $13, dessert and everything. Had little individually made pumpkin pies, had stuffing, had half a chicken. It was huge. It was a huge piece of chicken. It blew my mind how big it was. I was like, I can't eat all that. It's like, yeah, well, you get it. Take it home with you. So I have the other half of the rest of the chicken in the fridge. I'll eat that maybe tomorrow for dinner. I'm running FT8 right now. What am I on? I am on 17 meters. I'll give you a look at that. Here's what that looks like. It's bombed. There's a ton of people calling CQ. Here we got one in Germany looking for DX contacts. Let's jump on him. The other guy in Argentina looking for DX contacts. I've already got him. So yeah, that's how you know. How do you know you got him? Okay. I'll show you how you know you got them. If you look at the grid tracker window, that's this right here. The CQs, that's everybody calling CQ. This guy is the guy I'm calling right now. Notice it's got a red frame around his call sign. And I've never contacted him before. Bam, we have a QSO. We've made a QSO right there. Okay, so now, like this guy's calling CQDX. He's in Argentina. I already have Argentina, and I've already got his call sign. How do I know that? Because look at the line through his name, his call sign. That means I already got that guy in my logbook, so I don't necessarily have to get him. Nice little thing on FT8 also is make sure you got this dial over here in the right position so you get no ALC on the radio. You don't want any ALC. What else is going on? So Dale, you got any questions for me? And Pam, if you got any questions for me, come on now. Hit me up in the chat. ask me the question. I'm here for you. I'm here to enjoy ham radio and get you people to enjoy it also. You can see I got the typical setup. The large incandescent lights on both sides. I mean, maybe I need to get LEDs for that, more white and less yellow light. I'm a photographer. That's how I think. Because I look a little golden here. Don't I look a little golden? Anyway, any questions? Anybody, anywhere, come on back with a question. We got 4 people watching right now. And I thank you all for coming. And send me a question. Anybody, anyone, anywhere. You want me to talk about satellites? You want me to show you the sat box? You want me to, I showed you a little bit of FT8. I could show you my secrets for that. People wonder how I got so many QSOs. My log has 36,015 QSOs and 25,319 of those are confirmed. So that makes you feel good. I got 172 countries. I was going to use World Radio League, and it's a logging software. Let's try it out. It turns out unless you're paying a lot of money, you can't get much of anything out of World Radio League as of now. They're still working on it, but to charge what they charge for a year's subscription is way overpriced. It's nothing but a spreadsheet. You cannot hook up WSJTX to it to log contacts when you make contacts in that. You can't log directly. You literally have to download an ADIF file and upload it to that every time you want to add an existing log. And I have thousands of contacts in my log. And in order to upload the amount that I wanted to upload, I had to get the premium VIP membership. So I did. I thought maybe when you do that, you could do WSJTX and Logbook of the World synchronization and all that. No, can't do any of that. It's nothing but a spreadsheet. So save your money, give them time to work on it. It's Ham Radio Prep, which is one of my sponsors, so I don't want to badmouth them, but it is not worth what they charge at this point. And they did refund all my money when I complained to them, so I have nothing bad to say to them about that. And what do we got here? Oh, 2 Arrow or Elk for the 550 rotor. What do you think? What's your opinion? Thank you, Mike. Trying to research before I make a purpose. Do not use an Arrow 2 on your 5500 rotor. Unless that's all you can afford and you got a duplexer in it, it's not going to give you much more of any. It's just like holding it with your hand. You're not going to do much better. The proper thing to do, and I'm not saying that you have to do this. You don't have to do this. I have just a regular 2-meter and a 70 centimeter antenna on there, not a circularly polarized one, and not anything that is. How you doing, Paul? Zaxby's chicken dinner, Pam. You're kidding, right? All right. Oh darn, we got the sun in the way. I can't wait till I get this camera moved. I can't do it. I got to put it up on the center of my roof, and I'm not climbing up there because I'm getting too old for that stuff. Oh, why can't I? This stinks. The sun is blinding us out. I can't show you. Anyway, the 70 centimeter antenna I have was given to me. I'm sorry, I bought it from a guy, N9HF, David, in Ormond Beach, Florida. Sold it to me for $50. What a gentleman. That was a steal. I'll say that. I'm going to get in touch with him and talk to him more about the specifics of how to use that correctly. But by the way, Paul and Dale and Pam, if you want to come into the live stream with me, you're more than welcome to. I put the link in there. Scroll up a little bit. I'll show it again. Here's the link. You can jump right onto this live stream with that link, and you're more than welcome to come. All right. So what I was saying is the antennas that you use, I use a little 4-foot, 70 centimeter antenna. I made 2,300 contacts in 2023, which was so ironic that it just worked out that way. It was like 2,340 or something in 2023. I have a separate logbook just for that, just to show the difference. So it worked great. Did I get as many contacts as I possibly could if I had a circularly polarized antenna? No, probably not. But I got a lot of damn contacts. A lot on SO 117. I mean IO 117. A lot on the ISS. Between 2022 and 2023, I got 7 ISS contacts. I think I've spoken about that before. And it's a lot of fun. And it's just a kid that grew up watching the space program, to get that many contacts with an astronaut just blew my mind. I mean, 5 were with Kjell Lindgren and 2 were with Woody Hoberg. And it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm thrilled that I was able to make those contacts. I could show you. Did I close it? Yeah, I closed it. I've been looking into the M squared circularly polarized satellite setup. Okay. When you talk a circular polarized antenna, there are 2 different types. One with a right circle propagation, one with a left counterclockwise propagation. Which one are these? Do they have a switch to go from left to right or vice versa? Does it make a difference? Is it really that important to have a circularly polarized antenna? I think on a satellite like IO 117, it may be important because that tumbles at a very slow rate. No matter what satellite you're going to, other than the ISS, they're moving around. They're tumbling through space. They are not. They don't fly straight and level like an airplane would. So yeah, they are not. They are not going to be. They're not going to care if you're circularly polarized or vertically polarized or horizontally polarized, other than the fact with IO 117, because it circles so slow, you have a longer time where you lose your signal. The signal can drop as much as 20 dB. By the way, if any of you would like to speak to me live right now on the air without coming onto the stream, you can get me on FCS room 310, FCS 310 room 37, FCS 310 room 37. I have my 9700 on that room right now. If you jump on, I'll be able to see you and we could actually have a conversation. I'll have to put the headphones on, but we could do that. So that is the difference between a circular polarized or a horizontally polarized antenna. You may lose hair. I have both of mine vertical. They're both set like this. All right. I could put them like this, but there's an issue. I have an aluminum cross arm. If I put them like this, that cross arm is going to get involved in the signal. If they're like this, they're perpendicular to the cross arm. It's not as affected. When I got the Arrow 2, when I got the Yaesu rotor, they didn't specify whether it should be vertical or horizontal. I just put them vertical because I figured eliminate that cross arm as a reflector or another element of the antennas. Remember, I've been doing this for 3 years. 3 years, that's it. I started in 2021. April of 21, I got my license. August of 21, I got my general. And I haven't gotten my extra yet. I've not for lack of trying. I've been trying, and I'm really working. I'm hoping that Ham Radio Prep will help me out. Jim Reed, who's also a member of my Facebook group, Jimmy's already done the videos for the new questions that go into effect July 1st. So I'm starting to think maybe I'll just do those and wait until I take the test after July 1st. I obviously have not learned the questions before July 1st because I failed that test 3 times. Very close, but still failed. Anyway, so here we are. We're all here. Pam's here. Scotland and American Indian. Are you telling me that's your ethnicity, Pam? That's interesting. And Dale plans on using a sat box. That's a good idea, Dale. I don't know if you saw the picture I had on my Facebook page today, but I have Mike Sattarelli and Frank Garofalo in a picture with me at Hamcation. That was in February I met them. They came down, and it was great. I finally got to talk to them in person. I've been talking to Mike for months. Ever since I got my first sat box, I've been talking to Mike. And Mike and Frank helped me with a Zoom meeting and got me all set up, got my rotor calibrated, the whole 9 yards. And it was a lot of fun, and they made life so much easier for me. So nobody wants to talk on the radio. Nobody wants to do a live stream with me. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. So what you said here was you get an arrow or elk for the rotor. I highly suggest what you didn't tell me, Dale, what radio are you using? Is it the 9700 or the 2730? I forget. Tell me what radio you got. And I'll see if I can get you some information on that. I will tell you this, the 9700 has a satellite mode that works pretty good with, oh, you're not going to do satellites on an IC 7300. I hate to break it to you. The 7300 is an HF radio. You need 2 meter and 70 centimeter. That's not on the 7300. The 9700 has that. Now, sadly, when I bought the 9700 3 years ago, it was about $1,100. And after the rebate, I think it came to $1,000. That radio, without the rebate, is going for $1,900 or around that today. And they give you a $100 rebate. So, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, you have a 991A. Okay. It might not be able to control the Doppler. The sat box might not be able to do it. Doesn't mean you can't use it for satellites. I've used the 991A for satellites. Pam, you're so cute. What kind of cooler do you have them in? If it's not a metal construction completely and sealed, it's not going to help you in case of an EMP. Sorry. Solar storms will still get to them because the X-rays that come out of a solar storm penetrate everything. So you need a metal box. They call them a Faraday box. Conveniently, I have an affiliation with SLNT, and SLNT makes Faraday bags. I can show you one. Hold on, I'll get it. This is an SLNT Faraday bag. They open up like this, and the inside, the entire thing is sealed. I actually put my phone in here, and my phone fits right in like this. You close it and snap the lid. Now, if I tried to call this number right now, that phone would not ring. It will not ring because it's blocking any radio waves from getting into this bag. A cooler is not going to do that. You need a Faraday bag or a Faraday something or other in order to do that. And this is slnt.com. That's the name of the company. Oh, you can't read it. It says right here, SLNT. Great little bags. I have one of these for my laptop that I take with me in the car, and it protects it while it's in there. So you have a Kenwood TH74 and a THD72. Ooh, I actually have a THD72 I'm selling. If you know anybody that wants one, let me know. Or give them my name and let them get in touch with me. Yeah, those are both great radios. The 74 is great, and so is the 72. The 72 is better because it's full duplex. It's great to use on satellites. A little cumbersome to work. I don't use those radios on satellites. When I do portable satellites, I use the Wouxun KG 10H, KQH 10H or whatever. I forget. It's in the other room. I could go get it and show you. But it's sold by buy2wayradios.com, and they had them on sale this past weekend, a Memorial Day sale. If you bought one, I don't have an affiliation with them, but if you bought one this weekend, they gave you a free earpiece, which comes in very handy when you're doing satellites because you can listen to the VFO that you're receiving on in the earpiece and talk on the other VFO. Capiche? There you go. So yeah. Oh, and you have an IC705. I got one of them too. I built a Go box for my IC705. I'm hoping to get a little money coming in where I could use the money to pick up another 7300 because I want to use the 7300 to do portable Parks on the Air work, and I'm going to convert my Go box into an all-inclusive Go box. There will be one plug on the outside. You can plug a solar panel in, and everything else will be included inside the box. The radio, the solar charger, everything will be, the battery will all be in the box. It'll be one box, take out, hook up an antenna to it, and you're done. You're ready to go. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. But we're not there yet. But I do have my ICOM 705. I'll tell you this, Pam, you're sitting down. The new SAT box, when it comes out, will have Bluetooth in it, and you'll be able to hook it up to the 705 via Bluetooth. They're working on that right now. I talked to Mike and I talked to Keith. Keith is the gentleman that does all the programming for the SAT box. So you literally would put the SAT box, hook it up to the 705 via Bluetooth, download all your TLE data ahead of time, and sounds like a heavy box, huh, Paul? It's a heavy box now. Right now, I got my 705 in there with the Zygu XPA 125B amplifier tuner. So it's heavy now. And it's a small 19-inch box. It's an actual Gator box that I built it in. And I think it'll actually be pretty light. The heaviest thing in it's going to be the 9 amp hour battery. 9? Yeah, I'll probably put a 9 amp hour battery in there and a solar controller. So the radio will be the heaviest part. Everything else is much lighter. The SAT box weighs next to nothing, so that's no big deal. But I'm not going to be doing summits on the air with this. This is for just doing parks on the air. I go to a park, I put it on a picnic table, I put an antenna in the air, hook it up, I'm done. I'm ready to go. And I can start transmitting and doing parks on the air. The other thing I can do is with the CIV port on the 7300, I can do all kinds of rig control with it. I can have a laptop there and run FT8. It's really good. Now the 705 is even better for that because I can hook up an iPad to it via Bluetooth and have great signals going out. Now, what do we got here? Dale. He's asking, so would you recommend the radio I need for satellite is the 705? No. I would say instead of the 705, buy the 9700. I know it's expensive. It's $1,700. I'll show you right now. Let's see. Let's compare prices. All right. We'll go to let's switch the screen here. All right, we are on Ham Radio Outlet webpage. Here's the ICOM 9700 right here. Right now, $1,750 it's selling for. All right. What's the 705 going for? Yeah, 705 is $1,349. It's less expensive than the 9700, and it's only a QRP radio, 10 watts max, which is more than what you need. That's more than enough for satellites. However, the SAT box is not ready for prime time yet. I have one of the newer SAT boxes that has the Bluetooth built in. They gave me one, and that's what I actually use now. But the Bluetooth's not activated. They have to update the firmware in order to get the SAT box to work on that. So if you have $1,350 you want to spend on a 705, there's so much more you can do with a 705. It's like the 9700 and the 7300 in one box, because you can do HF with it. You can do 2 meter. You can do 70 centimeter. You could do 2.2 gigahertz. You could do digital. There's all sorts of Bluetooth devices you could use with this. I have a Bluetooth earpiece or headphone that I wear with it. And I also have a Bluetooth box that I can control things on the radio from that box wirelessly. And it can run SDR control in your iPad to make contacts and have the iPad control the radio. So it is so multifaceted, this radio. It's amazing. I got the 705 a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I paid $1,300, but I didn't just get the radio. I got the backpack. I got an antenna, a couple of antennas, a couple of batteries. The batteries that snap on the back, I got 3 of those. So I got a steal on it. I got a great deal. I mean, the radio itself goes for $1,350, as opposed to the 9700, which is 9700, $1,750. So you're paying $400 more for the 9700. But I will tell you, if you're going to set up a home station with a Yaesu rotor, this is the radio you want. This is a radio that can be completely controlled by the SAP box, and also has D-Star in it. It has, you can hook it up to a hotspot. Right now, my radio is hooked up to an open spot. So if you talk to me on FCS room 310, room 37, FCS 310, room 37, I would hear you right now. You could get on that room and talk to me right now on my radio. I got it plugged into the mixer. So if you want to talk, get on there and I will put the headphones on and be able to talk to you. I'll have to use the other mic though. That's what I'm using right now. I got a lapel mic on now. All right, so there you go. By the way, did you see my video about Ham Alert? I just did a video the other night on Ham Alert that you could do it on the desktop. How about them apples? You want to see a little bit about that? We could do that. I'm switching between modes here, cameras and everything. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend the 705 right now. Maybe sometime I will, but right now for satellites, your best bet is the 9700. I know it's $400 more, but you're going to get so much use out of that radio. I get all my local repeaters. I can hit a repeater 30 miles away with my Yagi antennas on that 9700. So I use it for that as well. I also run a node in my house on Wires X, and I can get to that through the FCS room now. We merged the two together. So yeah, I'll tell you what I'm working on that I'm trying to find a solution for. By the way, if you are in my area Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., I will be at the St. Augustine Amphitheater Farmers Market. We're doing a demo with the St. Augustine Amateur Radio Society, of which I'm a member. We're doing a demo of ham radio for people. And I'm gonna set up a Get on the Air station so that they could talk to people all over the world. It's going to be a little tight. We don't have a lot of room for antennas, but we're going to make something work. So if you're in the area, you want to come out, St. Augustine Farmers Market at the Amphitheater in St. Augustine along A1A. Come on out, and we'll see if we can get you on the air. If you got a license, I invited people that aren't even ham radio people to this stream tonight, and I'm surprised none of them have taken me up on my invitation. I also spoke with Jason and Mike and Frank and all those guys, all the YouTubers that you see at all Hamfest. I spoke to them too about possibly coming on. I said, you don't have to come on for the whole hour, but if people that are watching have questions for you, it would be nice. It would be nice to have them be able to talk to you like I talk to them. I talk to them when I have an issue. Most of the time I'll figure out problems on my own, but uh-oh. Now, hey, Dale, if anything happens and this radio doesn't work like you wanted it to, don't blame me. I told you. I suggested it. I didn't tell you to buy it. I hope you got the money and I hope you can afford it. You will never get tired of that radio. My 7300, I love it to death. It's amazing little HF radio, but everything in me really wants a 7610. But I don't want to buy a 7610 because I have a feeling ICOM's working on something new. They're next level up from the 7300. I'm keeping my powder dry and I'm waiting to find out about that. Anybody got any questions? Who cuts my hair? How did I get this gray tan? It's called vitamin D infusions that I do. All right, let's see what Dale said here. I have to work a little bit harder and save a little bit more and probably look for a good used one. All right. As far as used radios go, if you trust the guy and you know he's not lying to you, go for it. But I would make sure you test it out before you take it home, because you know ham radios. They work and they don't work, and sometimes they break, and sometimes people abuse them and they break things and they don't tell you. You don't want to get stuck with something you don't want. So make sure if you're going to buy a used one, really give it the ninth degree before you take it home with you. It's amazing radio. You're going to use it every day. It's really funny. I did a video on RM noise reduction for HF radios. I don't even listen to my 7300 through the speakers anymore. I put it through the computer through that, and I hear it clear as a bell. It cleans up all the noise. On the other hand, my 9700, I always listen to that through the speakers or the headphones. And the funny thing is, I bought the speaker that was really for the 7610 because it has two inputs. And I had the 7300 going in one input and the 9700 going into the other input. And I just hit A or B depending on which radio I'm using. Well, now that I use RM noise, I don't even do that. I just leave the 9700 on the speaker and I listen to the 7300 through my computer after I clean up the noise. So yeah, you're gonna love that radio, man. With the Yagis, because especially with the Yaesu rotor, I don't know how high you're planning on mounting it. I have mine right now at 40 feet, and I could hit a repeater 60 miles away if I know the heading of it. I hit a repeater 13 miles away with zero power. I turned the power all the way down to zero, and he heard me clear as a bell. So that's what's nice about having Yagis on a rotor. You could use them for other than satellites. You can use them for a lot of different things. And the way I know how to do that, I'll show you. So here we go here. Let's go to QRZ. Here's my logbook. And KB4JDE is Ben. This is him. And what I do is I go over here to detail. Click on detail and look. QRZ knows where I am. So if I want to talk to Ben on his repeater, right here, heading 232.1. So what I would do is I go into my SAT box here and I hit control. And up here I do 232.1. Okay, type that in and tell it go. Now my rotor is turning to point to 232.1. Once it does that and I key up my mic, I can turn the power down to zero and he still hears me clear as a bell. Is that freaking intense or what? I thought it was. We did a test. He got on there with me and I literally turned the power down to zero. I'm not doing it right now because if you notice, I'm on my hotspot right now. Actually, my open spot 4 is what I'm on. And I can monitor that on here also. Here's the output of the open spot 4. Nobody's been on it for a while. K2COP, that's my friend Greg down in Daytona Beach. He was on there today. ND1C, that's my Elmer, Jim. He was on there. K4CSI, Lisa. Probably wasn't Lisa. Probably Jim was in Lisa's car using her radio. And that's why it came up, K4CSI. And then my buddy Doug, W3 Charlie Fox. They were all on there today. That's the only use it got today. So if you get on there right now and you key your mic on FCS 310 room 37, your call sign will pop up on here. So try it. See if you can do it. See if you can make it light up. All right, we got 8 people now. Ooh, baby, should I take my shirt off? Can I get more people to stay? No, I'm not going to take my shirt off. Relax. Everybody calm down. I'm having a grand old time here. So I wanted to make it easy for anybody that wants to talk to me to get on here and talk to me. Nobody wants to talk to me. Guys, sure you got a camera on your computer? Just click the link in the chat and you'll be connected to StreamYard, which will bring you right into the room, and then I'll add you to the live stream. You won't be on the live stream until I add you. So you can relax, get dressed, fix your hair, and jump in. Say something. Let's talk. Let's have a little chat. Anybody who wants. I started this podcast doing interviews, which are great, but I decided that even though that's good, I don't have to always do a podcast with somebody else. I can, believe me, I can shoot the breeze as good as any of them, and I don't mind talking, obviously, right? If you follow me on Twitter, the link to the live feed is there. If you follow me on Facebook, it's there as well. I actually put it on my regular Facebook page as well as the ham radio page. So anybody, I want anybody, whether you know anything about ham radio or you don't, you're more than welcome to come in and ask any questions you have. Ask me why I do it. I think I told this story before. I moved to Florida in 2012. And from the day I moved to Florida, my brother Phil has thought he was my caretaker. He's telling me, Mike, you got to get your ham license. Mike, you got to get your ham license. And I said to him, number one, it's glorified CB. Number two, I ain't studying to learn another language to Morse code. He goes, you don't have to know Morse code. Huh? So I said, I wonder what that means. Anyhow, so I didn't have to learn Morse code. So I said, well, I might look into it. So he's been talking to me and talking to me and talking to me and telling me to do this. What if a hurricane comes? What if you don't have any way to communicate? Blah, 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 blah. I said, all right. So in 2021, I got the general test book. I mean, the technician test book, and I started studying. Got my little highlighter out, going through all the questions, answers. And I got Ham Study app. And then I got Ham Radio Prep. And I studied and studied and studied, and I went to take my test. Well, I passed. Oh my God, I got my technician license. And they handed me the general test. You want to try the general? And I'm like, oh, I didn't really study for that, but hey, I'll take a look at it. And I didn't pass that. And I gave up. But then I got into ham radio, and I started meeting people like my buddy ND1C and a couple other guys. And what I found out was basically this is what I get to do with ham radio with a technician license. HTs to repeaters, hotspots, code plugs, DMR, C4FM, D-Star. What the hell is all this stuff? Now they're coming out with M17. I'm like, I don't know what the hell all this stuff is. What do I do? And who do I talk to? How do I talk to anybody? I get on there and go, hey, this is KO4PDI. I'm listening. Nothing. I'm like, this can't be right. So Jim showed me C4FM. I had been struggling with DMR with an Allowance HD1. I was struggling with it, and I couldn't get the damn thing to work. Some guy from the St. Augustine Club came down to my house, and for 3 hours, he worked with a Pi 1 trying to program it to work DMR. He couldn't get it to work. It took him 3 hours to get it working. I was so frustrated. I was like, what the hell am I spending money on this crap for? It doesn't work. I can't get it to work. And who am I going to talk to anyway? There's nobody here. You should try to get involved in a club, Mike. All right, I'll try to get involved with a club. Well, the local club, I'm not mentioning any names, has a lot of issues. So I said, all right, let me try something else. Well, turns out there were a bunch of guys. I talked to a guy on the radio, and he was in the local area. I got him, I think it was on, I think it was 2 meters I was talking to him on. And he invites me to this lunch. Turns out there's a ham lunch. All the ham radio, a bunch of ham radio guys, not all of them, get together every Wednesday at noon for lunch. Okay. I join in. I start hearing all about HF and what you can do with HF and how many people you can talk to. And don't even bother logging 2 meter contacts. You'd be here all day. Just do HF. How do you do HF? Got to get a general ticket. Okay. How do I get a general ticket? Study. Get the book out and start studying. I said, okay, I'll do it. So I did. And I started studying. And what I came up with was it wasn't too difficult. The fact there was no CW involved made it easier. But I ended up taking the test and passing it and get my general license. At that time, I had a Yaesu 991A. And that was the first radio I bought, HF radio. But you could also use that radio on 2 meters and 70 centimeters also. That's why it was good for satellites. But with that radio, you got to use something like SAT PC32 or one of those programs because it does not work with the SAT box. By the way, SAT stands for Self-Contained Antenna Tracker, not satellite. Self-Contained Antenna Tracker. A bunch of guys on Long Island that make these, and they are amazing. They so simplify your life. They automatically download all the TLE data. They set up your Doppler effect for you in the radio. But like I said, only ICOM radios. You can get a 2730 ICOM radio it will work in. The only issue with a 2730 is you don't have sideband. That's what makes the 9700 so much better. You could do linear satellites on the 9700. I think I've explained that, the difference between linear and FM satellites as well. Wait, hold on. Pam's saying something here. What is Pam saying? Metal exterior and insulation on the interior. Then I have the radios in bags also. Okay, so that might work. I'm thinking a little styrofoam cooler. It's going to keep it from getting wet, but it ain't going to protect them from EMP or electromagnetic pulse or a solar storm or anything like that. But if it's a metal box and they're in bags as well, then you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good at that point. Mission darkness bags are what you use. I never heard of that company. But if you ever want to see a great Faraday bags, okay, yeah, that's what SLNT sells, Faraday bags. Yep. Yeah, if you ever want to see a good video on making a Faraday cage for your radios that you want to protect in case of a nuclear attack or something like that, Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course, did a nice video using one of those metal garbage cans with straps over it to hold it down, keep it shut and all that. And he keeps radios in there and antennas and everything is in there. He's got a whole kit in there to make contacts with. So yeah, look up Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course. Go to his YouTube channel, look it up, and you'll see that video on how he built that box. Mike K at MRD made a self-contained box that has 2 meter and 70 centimeter in it, and you use a signal stick on it. Signal stick, and I asked him, I said, will that work as a Faraday box, and protect you from an EMP attack? He said no. Why? There's holes through the sides for the plugs, for the USB ports and hooking up the battery. It's got a bunch of holes in it, so it won't work. It won't protect you. You have to have something that's completely sealed and surrounded by metal. Is basically what you need. All right, so I was telling you my story about how I got into radio. All right, so I right away knew I wanted to do HF. And what kind of antennas do you get? What kind of mast do I need? There's so many variables. And that's why a lot of times you ask a question in ham radio and the answer is it depends. Do you put up a 50-foot vertical? No. Do you put up a end-fed half wave? What's an end-fed half wave? I don't know any of this stuff. I learned over time, especially doing POTA. Doing POTA, I learned so much. I learned how to set up an antenna, how to tune it, how to get it perfect before I ever hook it up to the radio. I work on it to get it as in tune as I can. Then I go out and make calls. So that's how I learned how to do it. All right. I want to bring up another subject. I really need about $700. Anybody got $700 you don't need? In St. Augustine, there is a repeater. It's not owned by the St. Augustine Amateur Radio Society, but they have been given permission to use it. Well, turns out there's a lid who doesn't like people using that repeater. I have recorded a bunch of contacts with him. Tonight at oh, that's interesting. Very nice. Hey, if you got the link to that Mission Darkness company, let me know. I'd love to go check them out too. So put that in the chat too. If you got a link to this company, let me know. Thank you, Pam. So this lid, I recorded them last week on their net, which starts at 7 p.m. my time, which is in about 15 minutes. I'm going to have to get out of here because I want to get on that. In between each person calling in and giving their call sign and do it, he's not cursing, but he says cuckoo, poo poo, cuckoo this, and he just says poopy diaper, like constantly interfering with the net, to the point where the net is almost ridiculous to try to get in there. I've made it my mission. I want to catch this bastard in the worst way. I want this guy's license revoked. Everybody says, and I got a good buddy. Link for the extra exam question pool, KO4ESA. Thank you very much for that. Everybody check that out in the chat. Here's the link to get the new, is this the new question pool and that goes in effect July 1st? Is that what it is? Or is this the old question pool for extra exam? Looking for an answer in the chat. So Pam, is that a new question pool or is that the old question pool? I love how she changes her name. Oh, now she's responding on X. Oh, that means the chat's working on X too. Thank you. Thank you, Pam, for putting that on my X thing. If I refresh this screen, I'll probably see it on my X screen. I'm looking at that right now. Right now, we have, it's only made 8 impressions. I swear to God, I'm a nobody when it comes to streaming. Ah, nice. An Apache case for your 705. So you shop at Harbor Freight too. I think that's who sells the Apache case is Harbor Freight. Because I got a couple of those cases too. I bought a Gator box for my 705 for doing Parks on the Air because my buddy James Lee, who builds Go boxes for a living, shackinthebox.com, that's his website. You can go there and he'll build you a box, but they're expensive and I didn't have the money. So I nickel and dimed it and I added things as time went on, but it was basically a basic box to start with. So anyway, I got that, and that's why I built it, because James did a bunch of tests when he was designing his boxes to find out what box actually absorbs a drop better than another. And he found that the material that the Gator boxes are made out of is much, much more forgiving. It'll crease or it'll dent and absorb the impact of a drop or a fall, which protects the radio more. That's why he did it. The knockoffs that you get on Amazon, yes, they're cheaper. They're not going to be as good. So, yeah. So keep that in mind. And if you're going to build a Go box, the reason I said I'm going to put everything in one box is just makes it easier. When I go to the park, I open the back of my car, I take it out, I put it on a table, I throw out a solar panel, plug it in, hook up the mic, and I'm done. I'm ready. I'm going. I'm on the air. An antenna also. So yeah, that's why I was talking about that. So on that note, let's see, notifications. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm seeing, thank you for the comment. Excellent video, Pam. That was very nice of you. I saw that on X. And anybody else, if you want to come on here right now, we only got a few more minutes. I'm only going for maybe another 10 minutes. If I don't get any response or nobody's got any questions, I'm going to be ending this early so I can get on the St. Augustine net and record the jerk that's causing the issues there. Let me see if I can play that for you. I've been recording stuff. Let me play for you. Let me see. I know you can hear that. Let's go back. I think this. There you go. Let me see. Let me plug that in so you can hear it too.
Alan.
Hear what I mean? This guy does this. There's nobody talking. He just gets on and starts doing this all day long. This guy.
KF4MX repeater system operating in St. Augustine, Florida.
It's the KF4MX repeater. That's the St. Augustine repeater.
Quick.
See that? Isn't that disgusting that somebody has a license?
Lucky Popo.
They study to get a license, never gives us call sign. People. See what I mean? This is him. This is what he does constantly on this repeater.
Shoot.
So I did a little searching around, and there's this thing called the Kraken SDR. Let me see if I can get it on the screen. I will show you. Let's see. Is this the same thing? Yeah. Okay, let me switch screens so you can see this. This is the device I need, the Kraken SDR. What is the Kraken SDR? Well, you notice those 5 antennae. You put those on your car and you hook up the Kraken SDR. And what they do is when you find an offending user, they will track you to that person's house via an app on your phone. And they can do it in 30 minutes. That's amazing to me. But I don't believe this whole setup. Is this really $4.99? I'm ready to buy it. Oh, wait, no. Here's the difference. Yeah. The Kraken SDR is this black box. And then you need these antennas too. And you need a Raspberry Pi. So the Kraken SDR is $500. The antennas are $200. And then you got to get a Raspberry Pi. And you got to flash it. And you got to install the software on it and everything. And that's what basically controls the whole setup. And it hooks up with an app to your phone, and you can then track anybody and find out right where they are. And my point in doing this, I really believe this. If we went to him and said, we know it's you, we have evidence, we don't want to go to the FCC, so if you stop, we'll just let it all go. If you don't stop, we're going to the FCC and we're going to report you. This thing is accurate. Josh did a video on it. Not a Rubicon did a video on it. It's very, very accurate, and it will narrow down exactly where you got to go. Now, do I have to spend $700 to do that? No. If I get a bunch of people together with Yaggies, we could do a fox hunt and find this guy. I monitor the input frequency on the repeater, and I don't hear him there. He's not coming in on the input frequency of the repeater, but he is coming on the output frequency. So he's probably transmitting simplex directly onto the output frequency of the repeater. And that's not acceptable. It has to be stopped. It's been going on. I've been a member of this club for 2 years. It's been happening since before I was a member of the club, and it gets worse. It doesn't get better. Why? I mean, if you want, their net starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is about 7 minutes away. I could just continue to stream live and let you hear the abuse this man does. And I said at the last meeting, I said to them, why does this guy hate you guys? What? It's a personal thing. He's psychotic. The guy, there's no logic or rhyme or reason. He hates somebody in that club, or he hates the club, and he wants to get back at him. And that's why he does this. Very early in the morning, he's not on. But anytime during the day, just ka-chunk the repeater and he comes on with stuff like that. It's ridiculous. And then he started. I had said one time, I'm recording this. I want you to know I'm recording everything you're saying. So now every time I go on the net and I give my call sign, he knows who I am, and he calls me gay. He says poo poo caca, blah blah blah. In between everybody trying to get their contacts in. As a result, the net is struggling. Nobody's really using it. People aren't using the repeater. I know people personally who said we're never even going on that repeater. It's a total waste of time. And that is a damn shame. That is such a damn shame. So this guy is a real lid. That's what we call them in ham radio. People like this, they're lids. They ought to be okay. Yeah. Paul, he did do a video on this because he got to talk to an FCC investigator when he was at Hamvention, and he did a video on that. He did 2 videos on it. The first video he took down. He redid the video with a better explanation of what's going on. As a matter of fact, he's the one that reminded me of the Kraken. I had seen it before, but man, I ain't got $700 to spend on this. Unless somebody wants to hire me to get rid of people in their repeaters that are causing trouble, I could go out and hire myself out to do that. That's not making money on ham radio. No. That's providing a service for people to track down their offenders. I wouldn't have to do anything other than record the guy and track him down and give them the information. That's it. I don't have to do anything. I made a joke at the last meeting. I said, I'm from New Jersey. I'm from Jersey. I know a guy. Get this to stop tomorrow. Yeah. We'll go make the guy an offer he can't refuse. Wakes up with a horse head in his bed. Hey, you never know. I used to get offended when people look at me and go, hey, are you part of the mob? I used to get so pissed off. I'm like, what do you think? Everybody that's Italians are part of the mob? Now I just look at them and go, I don't know. Maybe. Leave them guessing. Keep them wanting more. So, yeah, I have a good time with that. Hey, no problem, Dale. I don't mind helping you out. I want to help everybody out because I know how many mistakes I made, how many antennas I bought that I never sold. By the way, what is it with Facebook Marketplace and people on Facebook? Oh, you got something in Marketplace? Is it still available? Yes, it is. Would you take $388 because I'm driving all the way to your house from Orlando? I said, yes. Great. I can come by tomorrow. Great. What time? About 10 o'clock. 6 o'clock at night, the guy still hadn't shown up, hasn't responded to me, nothing, just dicking me around. What is with these people? How does that give you satisfaction? That is so rude. I can't tell you how rude that is. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's rude people. So, thus, I hate the lid. The St. Augustine lid. Oh, man. I used to say things like, what happened? Your mother dropped you on your head when you were little? Like, what happened? Why are you such a jerk? So, anyway. Any more questions? Going once, going twice. We got 10 people watching. Woohoo! 10 people watching. How you doing, everybody? I hope you're well. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I hope you remembered the soldiers that died for your freedom. It's very important. And, yeah, HRCC, I got to love Josh. Josh was the guy that said to me, don't do what everybody else is doing. So like Mike, K8MRD, he's like a serious, Mike, T.O., Kyle, they're like serious scientists when it comes to measuring spurless emissions. The smoking ape can make an antenna with anything you got. He'll get it matching 50 ohms, and he's really good at that. That's not me. I'm not, at this point, I don't know enough to do reviews on radios and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, the one radio I did a review on, I found to be one. Every time somebody puts a negative review on EHAM, 6 people put a 5-star review right after it. From what I understand, Joe Humberger now is making another radio that Jason is going to promote on his channel. He actually did a couple of videos with Joe. Joe, I know because he worked with R-Finder Bob on the R-Finder B1, and the radio he's coming out with looks exactly the same, a little shorter, but it's basically the same radio. However, it has a Android system that's up to date, not Android 4. It has Android 17. It's open source, so people can make apps for it and stuff like that. Dual band, again. But, yeah, I mean, that's really cool. Oh, what's this question Paul has for me? Why isn't any local clubs talking about field day? All right, I'll tell you about that. The Flagler Palm Coast Amateur Radio Club really doesn't get into field day anymore. They don't really do anything. St. Augustine, on the other hand, is doing a big thing up at the St. John's Fairgrounds. I might go to that. I might set up my radio for that. They're going to be at the St. John's Fairgrounds, and it's going to be, I think they're doing it for 2 days. I'm not sure, because it starts around 2 in the afternoon on Saturday and goes till 2 in the afternoon on Sunday. Palm Coast, I went there last year to help them out.
The time is 7 p.m.
All right, I'm already on too long. I went there last year to help them out, and they didn't even have a way to get an antenna in a tree. And I was like, thank God I stopped by, because I had ropes to throw up there and pull their antennas up and all that. Their coax was crap. But they don't really go for the contest. They don't. Now, my Elmer, MD1C, used to run that. And when he ran it, there was food, you had things going on. People stayed overnight and made as many contacts as they could. They came in 4th in the United States on field day as far as the contest went. But now nobody's really wants to do that. And even St. Augustine, they do it big time on Saturday, but by Sunday, they want to close up. Everyone wants to go home. Whatever. If you're in the St. Augustine area this coming Saturday, come see me at the St. Augustine Amphitheater and look for a tent. We're going to have a tent there with the Amateur Radio Society, Ham Radio Amateur Radio Society of St. Augustine, St. Augustine Amateur Radio Society. That's what it is, SAR or whatever, you know. And I'll be there all like from 8:30 in the morning until 12:30 in the afternoon. We're going to set up a couple of radios. We're going to have a get on the air station. If you don't have your license, come on down, and you can you're going to participate. Maybe we'll get some more people. All right, what are you doing, Pam? Our local club has been talking about the I can't pronounce that, Cherahola Run on June 1st, and then there's a field day in June. Yeah, I think it's the 3rd weekend in June is the field day. Not sure off the top of my head, but we can check that out sometime. I will be there this Saturday. If you're in the area, come on by. I'd love to see you. If not, hey, God bless you, man. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me. And for now, I'm going to wish you a fine good evening. Thank you all for coming. Wow, we got 12 people now. Ooh, I guess when I bitch about stuff, people love to hear that, so they come on. I told you how I got the name of this page, Ham Fun with KO4PDI. I went to a DX dinner up in Huntsville one year, and the keynote speaker comes out, and he starts with this. What is it with ham radio guys? You get 3 of them in a room, and in 10 minutes, you have 2 clubs. Right? Ain't it the truth? Why can't we get along? I just want to have fun with ham radio. I don't want to argue. I don't want to have a bad time. But this one little loser, the St. Augustine lunatic, he's getting under my skin. I want to get this guy. And it's like, that alone makes me want to spend $700 to get the guy. But I don't think it's going to happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I tried to end it once. I'm going to try to end it again because I'm going to jump on the same. Actually, you know what? While I'm still here, let's get out of this and go to memory.
Yeah, boy, it's sweltering. K4GOP Dave.
All right. This is the St. Augustine Amateur Radio Society.
WD8 SEL Larry.
What they do here is they go through a roll call. And let's switch screens.
NN2T Richard.
NN2T Richard, good to hear you, gentlemen.
The lunatic's not on yet.
Thank you, Richard. KE4YAF, Ray.
That's my buddy Ray.
KC4LOV Clint.
KC4LOV Clint Portable, and I'll second Eric's comment. Good to hear you, Doug. Great to hear Kerry in there again. Been a long time. I'm going to be in and out, Doug, but if I can make a comment firstly, Doug Wiles' mother passed away recently, and I think the service is this Friday. I know that when his dad passed away, the club did something in the way of acknowledgement, so just wanted to pass that on to the powers that be, and maybe if they didn't know it, then they know it now. So that's it, and I'll send it back to you and wish everybody a good week, and I'll be out. KC4LOV.
Okay, Clint, thank you for that information. And thank you for checking into the net. You were number 8 tonight. KN4, KJC.
This is what they do. They do a roll call of all the active members.
VOY, Joe.
I thought it was me for a second. Now you're getting to watch the net.
AQ4 ECD, Joe. KD4 QOF Allen.
Where's everybody tonight? There's the lunatic. That's the lunatic. Am I recording this?
KO4 PDI, Mike.
Kilo Oscar 4 Papa Delta India. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Mike. KO4 is the VX.
All right, so I checked in.
WA1.
Since I'm still streaming, if any of you got questions, just go ahead and put them in there.
WA1 YXV Eric.
I'm surprised the lunatic didn't get in when I
KS4IJ
was
Carl.
recording. KS4IJ lives right around the corner from me. That's Carl. Nice guy.
WD8SCL, Larry.
Okay, haven't gotten to you yet there, my friend, but go ahead and give me your call and name again, please.
This is WD8, Whiskey Delta 8 Sierra Echo Lima. I'm sorry, I got turned on late and thought you were in additional stations. Over.
This is the KF4MX repeater system operating in St. Augustine, Florida. We're still going through the roster, but that's perfectly okay. We got you checked in. What was the first name again? I'm sorry, I don't have it.
This is WD8SCL, Larry. Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. Over.
Gotcha, Larry. Thank you. KM4 IIU Bruce. K4 LHS Jason. KQ4 KVN Andy. KC4 YAO Jeff. KD9 UMH Jim. W3WD Jonathan. A3EHL Chuck.
The big club, St. Augustine. We had like 30 people there when I did my satellite presentation.
Okay. Now we're through the roster for the first time. Are there any others wishing to check in? This is the St. Augustine Amateur Radio Society Wednesday evening net. My name is Doug, KI4NAD, and we're operating in N4AUG for the net. Other check-ins, please call now with your call sign and first name slowly, please.
I'm going to try to ask him who the guy was that videoed
That's November 4 Kilo Alpha.
that video of my presentation of satellites. See if it give me the video I could use on the channel. A lot of people were interested in that, so I'm going to try to get that on the air.
Okay, thank you, Webb. N4KA. Thank you for checking in. We show you checked in as number 11, in and out. Any others?
N4 KPI, Dennis, maybe the first round.
Try it again, Dennis. I talked over you.
Okay, N4 KPI, Dennis, I might be here through the first round.
Thank you, Dennis. Any others?
N4ONO, Tim.
Was that Kilo Echo or Kilo India?
It's November 4, Oscar, November Oscar. The name is Tim.
Tim. Thank you, Tim. Any others?
There's the lunatic. He does this all the time.
Hearing none, we'll start the round of the net.
Now they go through all the people that checked in one at a time.
Phone net, and we're operating as N4 AUG for the net.
If you've never done a net, pay attention because this is a moderated net. They'll call on you when it's your turn.
Which is just 3 or 4 times a year, but I enjoy doing that. Thank you for allowing me to be a part. And boy, the heat is upon us, and so is the hurricane season. So it's time to start checking all of our supplies and equipment. And
Got to go fill up my gas cans. So I got my spare gas for my generator.
To John, AK4N.
Hey, good evening. It's John, AK4N, and Bob said if we wasn't able to make the net tonight, that 2 reminders. One of them was we were having that event at the St. Augustine Amphitheater Market this Saturday morning.
I'll be there.
And also, the monthly meeting will be on Wednesday, June 5th, instead of Tuesday. And everything on that is also on the webpage. This is AK4N back to net, and please mark me out for the second round.
Okay, thank you, John, for that info. And we've got you marked out for the second round. Bringing us to Alan, W4YO.
The lunatic's going to jump on.
Alan, yes, really glad to hear you on the net. You're always a welcome voice on that fifth week of the month, and of course we're thrilled to be here at Hink again. Yeah, I just got in from mowing the grass. I'm covered in sweat and little bits of grass. And then one thought on the hurricane thing. It's time for us we got a generator we use for emergency power. It's time to pull it out and give it a little cranker up and see if she still works. Anyway, back to you. I'll be out, but I'll be listening.
Copy that, Alan. Generators are very important, and get that old fuel out, put new fuel in, and get them started, let them run for 30 minutes under a load, and make sure they're going to actually perform for you. Thank you, sir. Good evening, Rick, KK4GGL.
Shoot. KK4GGL, Rick. Good evening all again, and again, Doug. Glad to see you're over here. Ned's is closed this whole week, which means they're closed Friday. Those of us at lunch last Friday discussed it and came up with Ichiban. Ichiban. It used to call it the Pond Small. I'm not sure what they're calling it anymore.
They're talking about where we're going to go have lunch on Friday.
Some of us generally get there real early to make sure the tables and seats are chosen. But since we're going to be at Ichiban, I don't really see any reason to get there real early. I won't. I'll get there a few minutes before 11:30.
Ichiban is a Asian buffet.
This is closed and we have an alternative. Yep, guess that's it. I'll be out second round. Back to net, KK4GGL.
I'll do one Ichiban.
There's the lunatic.
This is W4YO. What time does Ichiban open? I'll do one Ichiban.
What a jerk.
KF4NAD, Ichiban opens at 11.
You realize I've been streaming for an hour and 18 minutes and I still got 10 people watching me. Thank you for sticking around, folks. I figured I wanted you to hear this idiot too. I'm recording everything. I'm recording the audio on the radio and I'm recording the video that I'm doing right now. So we have evidence against this idiot when we narrow down who he is.
Okay, thank you for that, Rick. Kerry, you're up next, K4ZED.
This is the KF4MX repeater system operating in St. Augustine, Florida.
This is Hink, K4ZED. Nice to hear everybody on. Glad I was able to make it again this evening. I want to do a test on my low frequency antenna, which I'll do when I get off here. This will be my last one. I understand the antenna was put back up. Now I need to just get on and give a call. I heard a QSO going on there. So I'm going to try to break in and ask for a signal report. Nice to hear, everybody. This will be my last comment. Everybody, let's hope the hurricane season is manageable. K4 is ZED 73.
Yeah, 73.
Thank you, Carrie, for those comments. It's always good to hear you out there. Richard, you're up next. Before you answer, just acknowledge yes or no if I'm getting over that background noise. In N2T, Richard.
Yes, you are over the background noise.
Thank you, sir. NN2T, go ahead, sir.
Not much to say here. This is NN2T Richard. Got a cold and a few things like that, going for a sympathy play. But otherwise, just starting to slowly rebuild the station and actually making some contacts, which is kind of fun. Imagine that, huh? So anyways, that's all I've got, and count me listening only for the second round. Doug, good to hear you on the 5th Wednesday as it is, and you too. Take care. This is NN2T Richard.
Okay, Richard, thank you for that. Hope you get feeling better there, as summer colds are no fun. KO4, PDI Mike.
Good evening, the net, and everybody out there. Thank you very much for having the net. Thank you for running the net. Alan, the generator thing, I had mine out yesterday, ran it on a load for a half hour, and it's always good to have some spare gasoline. I got to go refill a bunch of my cans. I usually keep about 20 gallons of gas ready to go. As far as Saturday goes, I will be there with my Go Box and my 705, setting up a station for Get on the Air. I'm hoping we got room for an antenna. I got all kinds of different antennas, so I'm sure we got enough room for one of them. Even if I just put a mast up right next to the tent, 30 feet in the air, that should be more than enough. But we're going to have a good time. And yeah, I'm greatly looking forward to Saturday. It is a fun time. You guys always do a good time. I want to come out to Field Day, too. I believe is it the 3rd weekend in June is Field Day up at the St. John's Fairgrounds. I want to make sure to get to that too. And hopefully I'll be at the meeting on Wednesday night next week. So thanks for having me, and follow me on YouTube. Anybody that comes to me and says they follow me on YouTube, you're getting a sticker. If you see me up at the St. Augustine Amphitheater, you get a sticker. Let me know. KO4 PDI, back to net. There's the loser again. He always gets on after me.
Okay, we appreciate those comments, Mike, and we'll hear you again. I think we're going to have a short second round, but we'll be back in just a few. WD8.
All right, everybody. I think that's enough. You got to hear the net. You got to hear the lunatic. I'm still recording it, though. But I'm going to shut down the live stream now. So thank you so much for watching. Come back next Wednesday. We'll be back. And you're more welcome to jump in and be part of the net. So everybody take care. Have a great week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me. All right? 73.